Welcome to a new vlog. Excuse the state of me. I did a workout this morning and I might do another one. I know, it sounds really excessive. At 12 o'clock, Lee is live doing ballet bar at 12 o'clock and I would quite like to do it, but I'm not sure it's going to work with the children coming back from the orthodontist, but we will just see. I thought, you know what, just get out and run your errands and you can have a shower later on. It's raining and it wasn't forecast to rain, but we definitely need it. It has been so dry. What else? I'm outside my favourite butcher's. I'm just about to get some mince because I'm going to make bolognese, for spaghetti bolognese and a lasagna. And I want to get some chicken thighs because we've got the friends coming to stay tomorrow, but we've also got some friends coming for dinner. So we're going to have a barbecue and I've got a really great chicken thigh recipe. They need to be marinated, so I thought get them now and get them all prepped ahead of time. And yeah, just a day of getting organised. We're heading up to Scotland. In fact, when you are watching this, we will be in Scotland, and so I've got quite a lot to do for that, and I'll talk more about Scotland and why we're going up to Scotland later on in this video, but I must stop prattling and go into the butcher's and place my order. I am back from the supermarket and the butcher's. I didn't buy onions because I have them in the kitchen garden. In fact, the other evening Archie wanted an onion. He was making, we were having burgers for supper and he loves onion in his burgers. And he said, "Mummy, we don't have any onions." And I said, "Oh, we've got plenty of onions in the kitchen garden." I said, "Go out to the kitchen garden, go through the little gate, turn right and pull one up." And he came back and he was like, "That was so cool." Anyway, I'm here. Look. Those are the carrots. They are doing well. And the onions are right there. So I'm going to grab a couple for my bolognese. Look at those. They will do perfectly. Take them inside and get cooking. So pleased with these. I'm just going to chop off the end, put them in here, and chop off that end. It's so great being able to go up and pick your own. Now, if I can get this bolognese going, got half an hour to get it all done before the bar class starts, which I really would like to do, but we will just see. A clean chopping board. I have to rinse this. Right, time to chop these up, and I thought I would talk to you a bit about Scotland while I'm chopping the onions and while the house is quiet. Rid of that. So if you have been following me for a while, you will know that we have been up to Scotland a few times, and I don't think I have shared with you why, but gosh, it's been the most sort of mega decision. And I have talked about it on my podcast a little bit, Busy House, Happy Home, episode with Hetty talking about schools. And Archie is going up to school in Scotland and we are leaving next week. He is so excited about it. It's very much being driven by him, completely and utterly by him. In fact, Sigh and I have done our utmost to try and convince him otherwise, and show him lots of options. We only made the firm decision in the Easter holidays, or just as the Easter holidays were starting, because ideally we would like him much closer to home. We would like to see him on a very regular basis. However, as much as we can know in advance, I think it's the right fit for him. These onions are going to make me cry. We think it's the right fit for him. I'm not crying about this, what I'm talking to you about. They're pretty potent. Quite pleased I haven't put my makeup on. I'm going to chop that bit off. Anyhow, as much as you can know in advance, we feel and he feels that it's the right fit for him. It's a very different education. It's a very sort of well-rounded education, and they do so many extracurricular activities, but they're not extracurricular. They are part of the curriculum up there. And oh, those are nasty. It's a really, really exciting opportunity for him. And you guys, if you've been around here for a while, will know that I often say what Auntie Margaret quoted to me when he was born: you have to let them fly and then they will want to come back. And so I am hanging on to those words literally for dear life. But Simon was at school up there. We have loads of connections. My parents actually met just, seconds from where the school is, because my father was based in the Air Force up there, and they lived up there for a number of years. And we had a house up in Scotland when I was growing up, and so I've spent a lot of time up there, and there is a huge part of my heart up in Scotland. So there's lots of reasons why it doesn't make sense, but there's lots of reasons why it does make sense. So that is what we're getting ready for. I may be a little bit out of sorts because whilst I want him to go, I also don't want him to go. And it has, as I've said numerous times, I think already today, gosh, these onions, it has been a super, super, super tough decision. And Simon is feeling, as I am, excited for him, but also a bit apprehensive, which I think is normal. Archie is not feeling apprehensive in the slightest. He's literally, in fact, we were up there this time last year. So they go up and they have a taster weekend, and the school gets to see them and they get to see the school, and if it's the right fit, then they're offered a place. And so we were up there last year, and Archie begged us to stay. Well, not to stay, but he wanted to start sort of then and there. And he said, I'm ready for this. I want to do this. He's also really old for his year, so he's going to be 14 quite soon. So I think that also helps. He's got that sort of extra year of maturity. Anyway, I need to chop these. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to read this to you. Right. It's not just a life jacket. It's about being prepared for anything. It's shouldering responsibility. It is understanding the true meaning of the word team. Sail training on board our very own 80-foot sailing boat is completed by every young person at school. It is not an add-on, it is part of the curriculum, an idea that we have remained passionate about for more than 80 years, to balance world-class teaching with life-changing experiences. It's not where you go to school that matters, it's what you do when you get there. And when I first read that, it made me cry. And actually on the back of that card is a really lovely letter from his housemaster, and such a kind man. And actually he grew up in Sussex, so he kind of knows where Archie's from, which is great. And it just, it's giving him not just the academics, it's all these other wonderful opportunities. He can surf up there, he can play golf up there, they can ski when there's snow, they go off on expeditions up in the Cairngorms all the time. And so it really is an incredible experience, and I am super, super excited for him. And I need to stop prattling, cook these and get on with my bolognese making. We're also very lucky that we've got lots of connections up in Scotland, and Auntie Margaret is up there. One of her sons isn't too far away. We know lots of people. Simon's still got a lot of friends up there. So, as I do actually, but mine are a bit further north. But if there was a problem, I have got people that I can call on, and we have places to stay when we go off and visit. So it is, whilst it's bonkers, it's not completely and utterly bonkers. I have to be honest with you, when this all became a possibility, I did start house hunting up in Scotland. We did go up and view a house, but being realistic, Archie's going to be there for 5 years, all being well, and we have very much said to him, darling, if you're not happy, if it doesn't work, we can change it. Gus is also making noises about the fact that he would like to go there too, and Gus will be leaving in, if he does go, he'll be leaving in 7 years. And so if we moved up, whilst it would be great to be nearby, they'll be gone just as we're getting settled in, and they probably won't want to stay up there. You know, who knows? But we love our home here. We've got wonderful friends, and I'm making a real hash of chopping these onions. I can't talk and multitask. And Coco doesn't want to go up. She's, you know, very happy here and very settled, and actually she doesn't want to be away from home. She wants to, in fact, in her dream world, she would be homeschooled, but at the moment that's not an option. I don't feel that that's the right option for her. But you know, who knows? And who knows in life what's around the corner? So we're just sort of taking it as it comes. But I was fairly adamant to start with that we were going to move to Scotland, and part of me still would quite like to, but I don't think it is the right option for us at the moment. Anyway, these onions are really, really potent. I need to get them in there pronto. Right, the onions are all chopped, finally. That took a lot longer. And I'm just going to put a glug of olive oil in there. Turned up the heat, and while those start to cook, I'm just going to get some garlic ready. I look an absolute mess. Sorry, blubbing as well. Not helped. Anyhow, we'll just get those cooking a little bit, 4 or 5 minutes before I add in the garlic. I just popped up to the greenhouse and got some celery that's growing outside the greenhouse, and I thought I would add that in too. 3 cloves of garlic. In they go. Never add your garlic in too early because it can burn and then it doesn't taste very nice. So add that in once the onions are almost cooked. A couple of pinches of sea salt. £5 of mince from the butcher, and I'm just going to pop that all in. If it's been in the fridge, take it out for about 20 minutes before you cook with it, so it's not completely stone cold when it goes into the pan. I'm just going to break that up. I want to brown the mince as it cooks, so it just needs breaking up and just turning. Put the heat up a little bit, get that all brown, and while that's doing its thing, I'm going to get my stock ready. So I'm using a combination of a beef stock cube and my own homemade stock, which I keep in the freezer. So just put one of those in there and pour boiling water over. And you want to make sure that your stock has all dissolved. So I'm just going to leave that to one side while I turn the mince, make sure it's browning evenly. Okay, so we're massively multitasking. I'm actually going to do a ballet bar here while I'm making the bolognese. Just silence me for a moment. I am putting passata, tin of tomatoes and my stock in here. Simon and the children came back, which delayed me somewhat, but it's fine. I'm not going to put all of that stock in. Get that going, pour that in. If I had some red wine or even white wine, I would use that, but I don't have a bottle open and it doesn't matter. But a good splash of red wine always is very delicious. And then I've got some basil. Very important to get your herbs in. Basil doesn't like to be cut, so I'm just pinching the leaves and tearing them. A whole load of school shoes over there that need naming. So I'm just going to pop some shredded basil in and then crack on with my bar class. Oh, and also bay leaves, and I think I need to go and get some of those too. I'm not very organised this morning. Blame it on the school holidays. Anyway, I am literally going to put the lid on that to simmer and crack on and do bar. Oh, and I've got a matcha ready to fuel me. I love matcha. And actually I've got a discount code, so I will put the link down below in the description of this video if you would like to try Lee's matcha. I'm going to turn the heat down on that, and I'm just going to leave it to simmer, but I won't forget to get the bay leaves. That was amazing. I loved ballet bar. I've just got some bay leaves, 2 bay leaves, and I'm adding those in. I've put a second tin of tomatoes and a little bit more shredded basil. It was a little bit rushed. I wasn't sure exactly what time the children and Sigh were getting back, and of course they arrived just as I was trying to do this and get ready for ballet. But what a great class. Really, really fantastic. Definitely going to be a bit achy tomorrow. I've just had a good stretch and cooled down and actually got quite hot and sweaty. Anyway, now I've done that, I'm just going to leave this on a really, really low simmer and go and have a shower and actually get ready for the day, although we're pretty much halfway through. I just thought I'd mention, if you want it to reduce, so you don't want so much liquid, then leave the lid off. If you don't want it to reduce and you want to keep the liquid in there, then leave the lid on. I am going to put the lid on. It's a bit hot because I don't want it to reduce too much at this stage, and I just want it to cook really slowly on a low temperature. Now, my main agar is off, so I'm obviously using this. If my agar was on, I would bring it to the boil on here, and then I would actually put it in the simmering oven and leave it for a couple of hours. You probably saw the dogs join me for ballet bath. Actually, I just put Lola in her cage and she doesn't want to be there, hence that noise. Anyhow, I'm going to go let her out and have a shower. So it's a few hours later. I obviously had a shower, and I did actually just show you the nappy sand. Those things are soaking. And I'm making granola as well. My bolognese is, I've just taken the lid off just so it reduces a little bit. I have had a big granola order from the village store that I supply. So I have got my oats and seeds and things in here. I'm just going to tip that into this tray. It's a little bit of a pain when the agar is off doing it this way, but it's my only option. So I'm just going to pour this over. That spoon has got a little bit warm. Grab the tea towel. The phone just rang and I got distracted chatting on the phone for a moment. So also the reason why it's a couple of hours later is because I've got a swollen gum, which is quite odd. I don't normally have a problem with my teeth. But because we are heading up to Scotland, I called the dentist yesterday and they called back today and said that they could fit me in this afternoon. So I actually have been to see the dentist. There is nothing sinister going on. He took an x-ray. I love my dentist. I'm going to tell you about him in a minute. There's nothing sinister going on. But I have got some special mouthwash and I have got some antibiotics. I'm actually allergic to penicillin, so I've got something else to take if it gets worse and if I need it. So that's quite useful that I have got that. But my dentist is just so lovely. So is his secretary, Karen. She's just gorgeous. I love them. When I broke my shoulder, which 8 years ago, Ken sent me a book called A Lonesome Dove. It's quite a big book. It's probably the best book I have ever read. In fact, I'm going to get it. Here it is, Lonesome Dove. And this is actually a new copy because I lent my copy to my cousin who works abroad, and I knew I wasn't going to get it back. So I bought myself a new copy, but this book is just incredible. It's amazing, and I know it's very thick and tiny print, but I was completely and utterly gripped. And then when I broke my leg the year later, Ken sent me the DVD of the book, so I could lie in bed and watch it. It was so thoughtful and so lovely. He thought that I would enjoy reading it because the main character is called Augustus, and our little Gus is Augustus, so that is why I think Ken thought of me. So anyway, the tooth, it doesn't hurt at all, it's just a little bit swollen, and I just didn't want it getting worse, and being up in Scotland and having a problem, so it's always best to kind of preempt these things, and it was really great that they could fit me in. So anyway, that is done, and that's that batch. A bit of quick turn. Oh, you may wonder why I was making such an enormous bolognese, because if you're making it, you may as well make like double the quantity, 3 times the quantity, and then you've got more. Hang on. I'm going to put that one in as well. Yeah, you may as well make extra because it's the same amount of work. It's just obviously chopping like an extra onion and putting some extra garlic in. But we're going to eat that this evening. Then I'm going to make leftover into lasagna, and I will also freeze just some bolognese in pots in the freezer. So I've got, you know, meals when we're in a hurry, I can just pull out the freezer and use them. So I always batch cook, basically. Batch cooking is the way forward. I actually have a batch cooking course. That is how passionate about batch cooking I am. Anyway, I am going to crack on and get this granola done, and then I need to make pudding. But I might do that tomorrow morning now, we'll just see, because Coco and I are going to go for a ride a little bit later on. I have brought you into the laundry room because on holiday there were a few spillages, even though they had napkins on their laps apparently. Coco, it's probably not going to show, but there's a little bit of, I think it's chocolate, and I have tried various things and there's still a little bit of a mark in there. This had bolognese on it and I have got most of it out, but there's still a few little marks, which you're probably not going to be able to see, but up here, and again on this white dress there is a mark down here. So I used this, which did work really pretty well. In fact, I'm going to show you these. These are Archie's shorts, and he got a whole bowl of bolognese in his lap, which is a bit of a disaster, and I've managed using this to get it out. This is Italian, and we've got an Italian delicatessens near us, and I was having a look at it while I was standing waiting for an order, and he said, that's amazing stuff. It works really well on stains, on polishing things, on everything. So I have used this on this and that. I will show you, I don't know if you'll be able to see, and I will try and see if I can find a link to it. May not be easy. So that's worked wonders on those. But I have ordered some nappy sand. Nappy sand I used to be able to buy in Tesco's. I can't anymore. I had to get this online. But I thought I would just soak these for about an hour with some nappy sand. So I'm going to take them out. I'm going to fill up this with just warm water, not cold, not hot, just a sort of nice mixture, and a little bit of nappy sand. Nappy sand is excellent for getting stains out of whites. It's really, really good stuff. I used it, came across it when the children were babies, and I haven't needed it for a while, but actually I just don't want those clothes, and it's kind of an obvious place Coco's dress. And I use that as well on Gus's t-shirt. So let's see if I can get them looking perfect with nappy sand. Particularly if you've got tiny children that are spilling things on themselves the whole time. Nappy sand is you know, a good thing to have in the cupboard for emergencies. I have my wooden poker, and I'm just going to make sure that these are all nicely submerged and leave them for about an hour or so, and then just put them in a normal whitewash, and hopefully they will come out perfectly clean. That is the plan. I thought I would share this new dog's bed with you from the Lounging Hound. Kindly sent to me because they know that we've got lots of dogs, and actually Archie's taken them for a walk, which is why everything is peaceful and quiet, but this is a great new addition to our garden room. It's the most beautiful evening, and Coco and I are out for a She actually's been doing jobs to earn enough money to buy them for herself, which is terrible sweet. But it's so lovely to be out for a ride. It's been a busy day. I've got the granola all done, the bolognese is done. I need to make it into lasagna, but I will probably do that in the morning, and make pudding in the morning as well. Haven't done that yet. And this evening when we get back, I am going to bag up the granola. 2 bags for an order that I need to post, and the rest is for the local village shop. So hopefully Simon will drop that off tomorrow. And then I've got some nail taking to do. So I am planning on watching some Netflix. I'm currently watching Virgin River. Absolutely love Virgin River. So hopefully we can watch an episode, possibly even 2 of that while I crack on with the nail tapes. Coco, show us your number. I don't know if you can see. It's a really beautiful dusky pink. What's it called? It's called Musk. It's a new colour that they brought out. Coco clocked it and said, "Mommy, I really want that." And I said, "Well, fine, but you're just going to have to do a lot of jobs to earn enough money." So she's been super helpful over the last couple of weeks, saving up for it. Anyway, I'm going to stop chatting to you and enjoy cooking with my girl. Good morning. Good morning. I was hoping to start filming and chatting to you earlier, but Simon has left for work later than I had expected, and it's always quite difficult to film when he's in the house. He gets a bit, I don't know, well, he gets in the way. Anyway, I am just wrapping up a granola order, which has come from my website, which is lovely. So here is my granola packaging. It is super, super healthy, and actually I've made quite a bit more. I've got a couple of jars here. Oh, hang on a minute. I was just chatting to you, and then I said I had to go. I have composed myself, hopefully I stay composed. I had a phone call as I was chatting, and it was from somebody down in Devon, and her father grew up at Bratton Mill, which is where Mum lived, and we bought the house from her grandfather, and they all lived there together, and her father David has just died, and she was calling to ask if his ashes could be scattered in the top field with his parents. So Bernard, who we bought the house from, his wife had died when we bought the house. We never met him, but we met Bernard many times. Mummy was, he often came for Sunday lunch. Mum got really quite close to him. Such a lovely man, such a lovely family. And so David's parents' ashes are scattered in the top field as well, which I didn't know, which made me really quite emotional, because that's where Mum's ashes are scattered. So they're all up there, and she's asked if her dad's ashes, David's ashes, can be scattered there as well. So I, had a bit of a weepy moment, and then actually just had to have a quick phone meeting with Tish, who works for me, about some exciting plans for September. I'm thinking, I used to do in-person like demos and cookery demos and other demos here in the house, and I'm thinking about doing them again. So let me know in the comments if that's something that might interest you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in Sussex. I could find a venue somewhere else, and you know, it could be somewhere else. Anyway, just ideas at the moment. So anyway, I need to wrap up this order. Archie has got the dentist. This sort of back to school is all of, you know, it's such busy times. We've done the hairdressers, they've done the orthodontist. Our orthodontist is really pleased with his teeth, and he's got the dentist now. Well, not now, but soon. He's got a friend coming. So actually, it's so lovely. When we were up in Scotland last year, he met a boy on the taster weekend, and they've kept in close touch. They've actually become best friends, and it's really lovely. So they are going to start at the same time up in Scotland together, and he lives in just outside London, and his mum works not far from here a few days a week, so she is dropping him here. And then my best friend is coming for lunch and to stay the night, and we've got some other friends coming for a barbecue this evening. So it's a pretty crazy day. So if I don't share too much with you, it's because it's just a bit difficult. I didn't make the lasagna last night because 12 bags of granola in that oven takes quite a long time to do. So I thought that was my priority, to get that done. And I was hoping to make the lasagna before I took Archie to the dentist, but that hasn't happened either. But anyway, it's fine, because when we get back, I'm going to quickly throw it together. The bolognese is ready. All I need to do is make the white sauce, bechamel sauce, and just kind of put it together. So that won't take long. I can make lasagna in my sleep. I dread to think how many I have made over the years. So I'm just wrapping this up in here. A little Ask Charlie card, which is going in the box too. I am using a recycled box because I just like to reuse. You've probably gathered that now. And so I am going to actually wrap this in brown paper. I'm going to do that with you. So I was going to go to the post office on my way to the dentist. However, Archie's friend is coming earlier than we thought. In fact, that's not them. I just heard a crunch on the gravel. That is the B&B's leaving. So he's coming earlier than thought, which is totally fine. But it means I have to do the post office afterwards, and he's going to have to come to the dentist. But when you come here, you just have to fit in with whatever is going on. Also, I've got a meeting with Archie's new school at 1 o'clock and my friends are coming for lunch, and so I have said to Sigh, I think it might be tricky for me. I might have to play the meeting. I think it's a Zoom meeting. Play the meeting whilst I'm doing lunch because there's important things that I need to hear. We are going up to Scotland earlier than everybody else because Gus is doing the taster weekend to see if he would like to go there. He's very much seems to have his heart set on it. So to make the reused cardboard box look a little bit nicer, I am just wrapping it in brown paper. This mega roll of brown paper that I've had for years. I bought it in bulk. It just makes it look a little bit smarter. And just wrap this order up. Do you know what? Every time I get an order on my website, I do a little jump for joy. You know, my little business, every order that you guys make means the world to me, and I am super, super grateful for it. Right. Here we are. And I have been really good this week with my workouts as well. I've done, you saw me do ballet bar yesterday and all the dogs joining in. That was interesting. But I have done a workout every day and I haven't had a drink. I haven't had any alcohol since we got back from Turkey. It just felt like I needed a bit of a detox, and so I feel a lot better for that. Although it's very typical, I've got spots, and I think it's sort of all, when you have a bit of a detox, it all comes out. I haven't really had a detox on what I've been eating. I've just been trying to eat really sensibly. One thing I didn't share with you in our holiday in Turkey was the food. The food was absolutely incredible. It was so delicious, but I think I didn't snack at all while we were on holiday, and so I was hungry for my meals, and it was so hot and humid that carrying my bag and getting in, we always sat on the same table, so as soon as I arrived I just literally grabbed my food and went and sat down, and so I didn't take many photos of the food. I think there is a little bit, but not much, but the food was incredible. And I have to say, and I did tell all the family this, because I am a complete and utter chocoholic, they have the best chocolate in Turkey that I think I have ever tasted. It's so unbelievably delicious. The puddings, some evenings, they were only little, tiny, but sometimes I would have 4 or 5 and just sampled them all, and probably eat them all too. So I've been quite healthy this week, and it's coming out of my skin. I've got a spot here, I've got a spot here, I've got another one up there. But anyway, I think I've actually put enough sellotape on this box. One bit there, and then address label on there, and then I do have an Ask Charlie sticker which can go on there, so that is ready to go to the post office. And I'm going to stop chatting to you because we need to leave here the second he arrives. I'm going to clear these things away and make sure that I've got everything that I need for lunch and just get organised. I don't have enough time to make the lasagna, but I've got enough time just to have a quick tidy up. We are back from the dentist. Oh my goodness, that was quite a rush. So Archie's friend was coming at 11, and then he messaged to say actually they were running early and he was going to come at 10:30, and I was going to leave here, do the post office, a couple of bits in Tesco's, and then the dentist, and then be back here for 11. Anyway, he then sent another message, which Archie didn't read, saying, actually, we're stopping for breakfast. We will be with you at 11. So we were waiting for him and I hadn't run my errands. Anyway, I was having a joke with lovely Karen at the dentist saying, is it possible to do the post office, grab a couple of bits in Tesco's, Archie finish his appointment and get home in 8 minutes? She was like, it's absolutely impossible, Charlie. Anyway, we did the post office. I didn't grab the couple of bits in Tesco's I needed, but I think I can do a different recipe. It's fine. Or pop out later, but that's probably not going to happen. But we did the post office and we got home and we were only a few minutes late, so that is good. It's lovely to see Archie's friend. He's just a ray of sunshine, that one. Anyway, it is time to make the bechamel sauce for the lasagna. So I've got a saucepan at the ready. I am going to turn that on. Sometimes, I say sometimes, my days can be a bit bonkers. And actually Karen said to me, how do you stay so calm and unflappable? I think it's a little bit like a duck or a swan on a pond, paddling like fury and actually looking graceful on top. I mean, I'm not sure I am looking graceful. Certainly wasn't looking graceful doing bar yesterday, particularly when all the dogs joined in. I haven't done ballet. I used to do quite a lot of ballet. I haven't done any ballet for years. I mean, years and years and years. And actually, I did find when I broke my leg, my knee and my ankle has restricted movement in, which I hadn't realised quite how bad it was until I did ballet bar yesterday. So that's something that I probably need to work on. I actually know what I need to do. I need to get a band around my toe and I need to like circle that way and I need to do that with the band on and strengthen it and get it more mobile. I'm waffling while the butter's melting. There may be a bit of background noise because there's a house full, but my butter's melted. I'm just going to sprinkle in some plain flour and whisk that in. I'm sure I have shown you how to make this before. It will take a bit more flour. You don't want it to be too runny. You want to get the flour in there and you want to cook the flour for a couple of minutes. So that's the sort of consistency. It's slightly like scrambled egg. I'm going to add in some salt, some black pepper, and just cook that flour for a couple of minutes. And then I'm just gradually adding the milk in. And you really want to add it gradually. Make sure that all the milk is absorbed before you add in more. I think this angle's quite good because there's more light without me having to put the lights on. Every time Simon gets home, it's like, turn these lights off. The cost of electricity has gone through the roof, so I'm having to be quite mindful of making sure that the lights are off. So I think it's better lighting this way, and you can see what I'm doing at the same time. Quite difficult, this kitchen. I mean, obviously I didn't design it, that I was going to be filming in it when we did the work all those years ago. Gosh, it's 12 years ago. It's stood the test of time well, but ideally I would have you over there, but there's a wall, so we can't do it that way. Right, this is coming on nicely. So it's really simple. I mean, this is the base of so many different sauces. If you can master how to make a good white sauce. So it's known as a white sauce, it's known as a bechamel sauce, or and the start of it, where you have the butter and the flour, that is called a roux. And if you can master that, then you're flying. You want to make sure that there are no lumps. So this balloon whisk is really good, and I'm pushing it into the sides of the pan while I whisk. So there are no lumps forming. Whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. And then I'm going to add in some cheddar cheese because I want it packed full of flavour. I'm not even going to bother to grate it, I'm just going to break it up into pieces. I've also given up telling the children to be quiet because Mum is filming, because it's not fair. It's their holidays and they need to be children and not silenced. So if there is background stuff, it's just real life. And I'm not going to say sorry for that, because actually I'm not sorry, because it's really important that this is their home and that they're not hushed up because I'm doing a vlog. And I really wanted to kind of continue over the summer and show you kind of real life and what we get up to, and that it's not always perfect and the house isn't always immaculate, and there were a whole load of issues there which I have sorted. But you know, it's family life, and I really want my channel to be as honest and as real, and me, you know, to be kind of open and just natural with you all. So anyway, that is that. So this is looking really good. I just need that cheese to melt, and I will probably add in a little bit more milk, because I don't want it to be too thick, but I don't want it to be too runny either. I have closed the door on those noisy boys, and I'm just going to construct my lasagnas. So I've got 2 dishes. I've just put some lasagna sheets. I just use this sheet lasagna, and I'm just going to put a layer of my bolognese, making sure that I don't have my bay leaves, and I also don't want it too watery, which is why I am using a spoon with holes. And I'm just going to pop a layer, and then more sheets of lasagna on the top here, and I just break it and pop some down the side. And then mozzarella. Mum always said you can never put too much mozzarella in a lasagna, so I always think of her when I do this bit, and just get lots of yummy mozzarella on there. And then my white sauce. Now if you have too much white sauce, you can freeze it, which is excellent. It freezes really well, and you can always add a little bit more milk when you defrost it if needs be, if it's a little bit thick. But I'd always much rather make more white sauce than not enough, because it's really frustrating when you run out, and hopefully I have made enough today. I haven't made lasagnas actually, it feels like ages. It was a bit hectic last term, and I ended up not batch cooking as much as I normally would do, and filling the freezer before they broke up for summer. So I'd normally like to have a couple of lasagnas in the freezer that I can just whip out there. And then another layer of your bolognese. My 2 lasagnas are done. I actually didn't have any leftover bolognese, and I'm just grating some cheddar over the top because that is the finishing touch. It adds an extra bit of deliciousness. Now I think the reason why I didn't have any leftover bolognese is Simon got home later than expected last night, and he was really hungry, and I think he just ate bolognese for his supper. He said he didn't want any pasta with it. He's bless him, he's trying to lose weight, so I think he opted for no pasta and just possibly extra bolognese. But anyway, that is fine. At least it has been enjoyed, and I had enough for my lasagnas. I haven't got any extra white sauce for the freezer, but that is totally fine. So I'm not actually 100% sure either if they are coming for lunch or after lunch. Can't get hold of them at the moment. I messaged Charles earlier. So I put the oven on, and I will put the big one in, and then if they don't come for lunch and just come this afternoon, this one can go in the freezer, so that is fine. They had a bit of a problem. They were going to come yesterday. They had a bit of a problem with their car, so I think that is still going on and why they might be delayed. Anyway, it is not a problem. We are super relaxed. I was at school with Holly, and she's Archie's godmummy, and I'm godmummy to her daughter, and they've lived in Australia for, they got back I suppose 18 months ago, but they were out in Australia I think for about 8 years, which was pretty heartbreaking for me. I tried to be really strong about the whole thing and really cool about it, but actually I was pretty devastated when they announced they were going over to Australia. But they are back, which is excellent news, because there's nothing like a really old friend that just gets you. And she was my bridesmaid. Mummy was a bit tricky at the wedding, bless her. And Holly was just so good at calming me down, and she just gets like my family dynamics. She knows all the history, she knows all of the ins and outs of it. She knew, you know, everything. And there's nothing like a wonderful old friend. Anyway, I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm going to put this in the oven just in case they turn up any second, and that is done. Right, they have called. They are running late. She's often running late, which actually is a good thing because it means I've got a little bit more time. So I'm making a key lime pie for Pud, which is Gus's request. It's his absolute favourite. I have done the base. Digestive biscuits, cocoa powder, butter, and the most important ingredient is chocolate drops, because you get this wonderful chocolatey bite. So that is done, and that's been chilling in the fridge. I have got a tin of condensed milk. My tin opener is not playing ball. Now this has been in the fridge overnight, which is why it's lovely and chilled and gloopy. I'm just going to scrape out as much as I can. I really need to get a new tin opener because my one is just not playing ball. I had to get a knife to help me get in. It's very sharp and very dangerous. I'll just get out as much as I can, and then I am hopefully going to have time to whip up to the kitchen garden to pick some flowers and into the greenhouse to get some tomatoes. So that is the plan. Now normally I'd use my big Kenwood, but actually I thought to save time today I would just use my little handheld one, this one here. So I'm going to just start whisking and pour in the lime juice, double cream. It's about 300 ml of double cream, and it's about 170 ml of lime juice. There we are. Done. Really quick, really easy, delicious pudding. Gus goes wild for this. And then I am just going to pour it on to my biscuit base. Look at that. There's a chemical reaction with the lime juice, so you don't need to whisk it very much. You just need to blend it well. And it just is a lovely, thick, yummy. I mean, it's so delicious. Not so healthy, but it's a treat. And then just smear it around. And then I'm going to leave this to chill in the fridge. You can leave it overnight. It will keep in the fridge for a few days, so you can make it in advance. I did want to make this last night, but I was making granola instead. And we did manage one episode of Virgin River, so I was home quite late last night. I said that before, I think. But we watched one episode. Oh my goodness, it was so good. So good. Right, I'm putting this in the fridge and then I'm going to go up to the kitchen garden to serve it, and I probably won't have a chance to show you. I just use my microplane and I just set a bit of lime juice and some dark chocolate over the top just before serving as a finishing touch, and it's so yummy. Right, let's go. First stop is here to pick some of this catmint, which is looking gorgeous. Next stop is the sedum. And I've talked before about this, I think. It goes really dark in the autumn, well, you know, like next month. It's a wonderful lime green, and then it goes to this pale pink, and then it gets darker and darker. I love it at this stage. Next stop is the greenhouse. The tomatoes are looking so good. And I've got lots of them, which is amazing. So good. Look at all those tomatoes. Excellent. Right, the next stop is the kitchen garden. I've got an abundance of dahlias and sweet peas, which is really exciting. They are coming in about 10-15 minutes, so I need to pick as many of these as quickly as I possibly can. Look how amazing that is. Look at these, absolutely amazing. There's still so many more to pick, but I don't have time now, so I'm going to head inside with these, and I'm not sure I've got time to arrange them either, but we will just see. The sun has come out as well. It was raining earlier. So nice that the weather has changed a little bit, although I'm not ready for autumn, but it had been so dry for such a long time that it's lovely to have a bit of rain, and these have certainly all perked up. And I don't want my tomatoes to fall out, but lots of French beans too, so that is very exciting. They're going to be here literally any second, but I'm going to try and get these flowers in vases. They're not going to be beautifully arranged, but let's just go for it. So pleased they were late. I'm just doing a bit too much at the moment. It's been full on. Thank goodness for my workouts, because it gives me the energy to get through the day. Sweet peas just smell amazing. I wish you could smell them. It's got so warm I had to take my cardi off. And you'll probably notice this skirt that I've been wearing. Absolutely love it. I bought it from Bowden in the spring and didn't wear it very much, but now it's my stable. It's too warm for jeans and trousers, but denim skirt at the moment is perfect. So I'm literally shoving these in The more you pick sweet peas, the more they come back. And I'm so pleased with mine this year. I thought, let's move that out of the way. I thought they were going to be a bit of a disaster because I planted them, the seeds, quite late, later than I should have done. And I planted them out probably a little bit later than I should have done as well. But they have been thriving. I put some strolch, I will link that in the description of this video, into the kitchen garden, and it helps suppress weeds, but for some reason my sweet peas, I don't know if it's the strolch, have absolutely loved it and are thriving. Those ones were a little bit short. The boys have gone on a mission into Pulborough, which is a decent walk. All three of them have gone, Archie and his friend, and hopefully they will all be back at the same time for lunch. Lunch is ready. I've washed the tomatoes. So the tomatoes are here, the green beans are on, and actually I think the garlic bread is probably ready. No, you can have a couple more minutes. So yeah, lunch is ready when everyone gets here, and we are almost all set. That one's quite long. Some of the stems on these are amazing. Some of the stems on my dahlias, you may have noticed I didn't pick them. The pink ones, and they're my favourite, but they were so short. I mean, they literally are like that long. So I've left them to look pretty in the kitchen garden because there is no point me picking them because I can't use them. Anyway, 4 vases of sweet peas done quick as a flash. Let's see if I can get these dahlias in my white rabbit jug. I've got some slightly shorter ones. Some of them I picked because they were beginning to go over. I mean, that one is completely gone. That one's looking a little bit tired around the edges, but I think it will be okay. Always take the leaves off. I probably could have done with some chicken wire in here, but I actually don't have time to do that. So we're just going to shove them in and hope for the best. I think I'm only going to put dahlias in here. I picked my sedum, lovely sedum, but I might just do an arrangement just with the sedum. And this could be just a wonderful jug full of dahlias. There. There. That can go in the centre of the table. And I have also got my catmint. I am going to put my catmint in with my sweet peas. It's not smelling like it was earlier in the year. It's slightly gone. It's going over. When I arrange flowers properly and not in quite such a rush, I don't like to have just one flower really in a vase. I like to kind of mix it up, but that's quite fun, just being dahlias. But it's quite nice to have a variety going on and different textures and heights. I think is always a good thing. Almost done. Ready for my friends. Look, an abundance of flowers and colours, as quick as flash. Right, those can go back on the compost. I'm going to do a little vase just of the sedum, and I've got those which I shall put in a little tiny bud vase and enjoy them. Well, we have had a really, really lovely but quite lively afternoon. There is nothing like old friends and catching up. We have chatted non-stop. Everybody's out for about 45 minutes. with dogs and ponies. So I've got a moment of calm. I need to set the table for this evening and prep a bit of food. We are barbecuing, so it's quite easy. Pudding is in the fridge. I just have got some strawberries and berries to prepare. And yes, it was lovely actually Arch having his friend and having a little bit of time to chat to his mum. And I said, how are you feeling? And she said, quite apprehensive. I said, me too. So it's quite nice to know that I am not alone. But her son is super, super excited too, which is great. And when you watch this, we will be up in Scotland. So hopefully we have a good, easy journey up there. I hope that you have enjoyed this week's video. And thank you for tuning in. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, to do that and to like this video even, leave me a comment. And I'm sending lots of love, and I will see you again very soon.